incidentally. So they got hold of me and asked me to come and share some ideas with you. But thank you, Tanvi, because it's a good opportunity. If you were to rank order the things that cause stress during your postgraduate training, and I suppose thesis would probably come somewhere at the top, maybe one or two. And it is because over the years, we have viewed thesis as something which is to be feared. We have viewed it as something which is just a passport for appearing for the examination, but otherwise totally not good. And it's not only at our level. If you look at educationists or people who matter in this field, you can easily identify two separate groups. The one which say is just a waste of time. And in fact, there are some very good institutions in the country which have actually done away with the requirement of thesis. PGI Chandigarh, for example, you don't have to write a thesis. You have to only pass a paper on research. But then there are other institutions which very religiously expect the students to actually complete a thesis during the course of their postgraduate. Some time ago, I read a review in one of the journals who analyzed the quality of research that is carried out as part of thesis in Indian medical colleges. And the thing which actually caught my attention was a statement saying that most of the thesis is only transference of bones from one graveyard to another. That's what happens a large number of times. You go to some institution, you have to get an old thesis issued, type it again, put your name and submit. That's but one side of the story. There's another aspect. And before I go to that aspect, let me admit that not all thesis research is actually destined to be a Nobel Prize winner. So when I ask you to do a thesis or to do a research as part of that thesis, I'm not really looking at that will win me some big prizes or some awards or something. No. What I'm looking for is the effect of thesis on your knowledge and your understanding. I'm sure many of you must have had that experience, even if for a very short period of time, that when you sit in OPD and medical representatives come to you and they'll give out all kinds of data, 70% of the patients improved, 90% improved, and our medicine is so good, and we all completely accept whatever they tell us. Because we do not evaluate the data that is presented to us. And when I look at thesis, I'm actually looking at it as a means to train your mind to critically evaluate the scientific data. Now, I just heard some parts of Rajiv's speech when he said research question. Now, this basically research question is what actually makes the beginning of a good research. Now, if you have just a very mundane and very routine type of question, obviously the research that will be produced will not be a quality research. But if you have a good research question, and I had that opportunity of being in AIMS Delhi for a short-term training. Dr. Meherban Singh, who is a pediatrician, was the HOD that time, and we used to accompany him for the morning hours. So while we were going on for rounds, there was a patient and the resident said, "Sir, the mother says the child is having fever, but on thermometer recording there is no fever." There was some little discussion and he said, "Okay, why not let's scientifically explore this. What is the difference between the perception of a thermometer and perception of a mother?" And a thesis topic was. You don't really have to go very far or very deep into literature to come out with good thesis topics. Every day in your day-to-day work, you will come across plenty of opportunities which can be converted into a good research question. And once that good question is generated, then your mind is trained to collect data, to collect evidence, to analyze that evidence, and more importantly, in the art and science of scientific writing. Knowing something is one thing, but putting it in a way which other person will accept is a very different. And these are some of the things which thesis writing actually tries to inculcate in you. So my suggestion would be, don't see it just as another mundane thing to be done. Don't see it as something which is a requirement and you have to meet. See it as something which is going to help you learn some of the very important things of your career. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Now I would request our worthy principal